talk. Dawn should be in any moment now. And so there she goes right there. Let me add her on in. Hold on, guys. All right. Dawn, we are live. Hey, Missy Pooh.
Hey,
What's
how
going
are
on
you?
with you?
I'm awesome. Happy birthday.
Thank you. Thank you. It is fabulous. I had a fabulous, great weekend, and we closing it out
Awesome.
with Salon Talk, honey. Yes.
Yeah.
Child, my dang lashes falling off. Child, you can't make this stuff up. So
Oh my
anyway,
goodness.
let's go ahead and get into it. I was talking to you a little bit earlier, and I was telling you about. I just watched it. I think the guy name is Johnny Wright. So in the beauty world, so we're gonna add a little bit of news, what's going on, because remember, that's what Salon Talk is all about. Before we go into it, how are you doing today, Don? Are you feeling good? Because you dang sure looking good.
Oh, I thank you, man. Likewise, I am awesome. It was just a really, really hot day today in South
Hot
Florida.
date or hot
Day.
day? It
Day.
was hot. It was hot.
Yes,
But then you went to
extremely
the
hot.
restaurants that had the nice cool breeze and everything, right?
Yes, but it was still hot. It's like it
Yeah,
took
you
the
was
air
like, oh,
conditioner
honey, it was hot.
forever. Yeah.
So I wanted to get into so this guy Johnny Wright and I think it's Dallas, Texas. I could be if I'm incorrect, somebody can correct me. But in the beauty world news, he had a grand opening. He had this beauty salon, beauty supply store. So it was giving out products, beauty supplies, and he was also giving out um uh hair wigs and hair weaves. And girl, the women showed their butt out. He started off passing it out, and then after a while they started fighting. Okay. I said, Lord have mercy. I said, if they could just fight like this for to take care of their hair. So they start fighting over the wigs and everything. And so the wigs and the weaves and whatever he was handing out, it turned into a brawl. And so they had to get, they said it was so many police officers out there trying to break it up that they forced the guy who had this grand opening to have a grand closing. So he got to wait a couple of more weeks before he opens back up the salon. But I was sitting there thinking to myself, I said, Lord have mercy. Like,
I'm here. Me? I'm here.
is that me? But anyway, I was saying, like, the girl was like, Black people, y'all need to act right. And we don't want to talk about that. But I was like, wow, this is the guy business. He worked so hard to get it open. And they ruined that moment. You know what I mean? And this is another thing that, we're gonna talk about your beauty. The whole topic today is about your destroying your beauty has become a trend. And these people are like, look how addicted they are to the wigs and weaves. I was like, you can't make this up. I would have, you know what I'm saying? So that was the drama in the beauty world this week that just passed. And then the other thing is the African hair salons, and we're gonna talk about that as well because I didn't even know this was going on for like the past few weeks since I think in the month of June where they're highlighting about how they charging them crazy prices. They are in the African beauty salons, the braiding salons, and how they disrespected the women and women upset and the typical thing. But I was shocked because I'm like, well, why they just want to talk about the African salon? I'm not taking up for them because I saw some of the videos on it. I was like, but to me, it's typical. That's what happened in the regular salon. So I'm just trying to figure out why are they just talking about boycotting the African salons when they should probably, to me, be boycotting anything that's unprofessional that you're spending your money on. What you got on that?
My thoughts on that is there's a culture difference, right? So you have it's a huge culture difference. So yet, and to be honest, black foreigners don't like black Americans. They don't they don't like them. So it's like you're giving to your money to a culture that really don't like you, right? They think you are the most ignorant human beings walking the planet because you've been here so long and you have yet to succeed or you know any level of success but to sit in a braiding salon for 24 hours and have your hair braided. So the logic behind it is ignorant, right? So you have a double dose of ignorance, right? You have a culture that don't necessarily love you, right? They don't like you, right? They don't like you, I should say, because you reflect a total waste in their mindset. Like you're an American. I mean, just look at what you're doing, right? You're going to a unlicensed professional to sit in their chair or in their business for X amount of hours. The styles that you are requesting are delusional. You're asking someone to braid your hair for what, $200 for 24 hours? That's how long the style. Little no, 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 I'm not saying not that, may not that, not this particular time, but they do go and sit in salons for, it's the style that you're asking for. One person cannot do that in that amount of time. So of course, the style that you're asking for is going to require a multitude of people to work on you to get the service done, right? So
Right.
it's just a it's a
Right.
it's just a huge melting pot of ignorance, right?
Dang.
All the way around. It's just, it's
Uh-huh.
just ignorance, buffoonery. So, that's just a cocktail for disaster.
Don. So
Yes.
that I'm glad you broke it down like that. And please, I apologize for like cutting. I'm like, no, no, no. And but
Mhm.
once you finish, I understood. That makes so much sense. And to
Yeah.
me, I'm like, why would you expect somebody that has created a space, right? You got 50 hairstylists in there, natural hairstylists that's braiding up hair on three, maybe sometimes two, three people on your head. Why
Mhm.
would you think in that there? And one of the things I talk about is when you come into a salon, you want to find out what is their vision for the salon, like what how do they treat their clients, right? It is clear that they're in there. She got more people in there, more, and they nothing but African hairstylists to what? To get money. You're just another number, right? And I'm looking at one of the stylists, the owner was talking to the girl. Oh, thank you, Kyla. Ace, Ace, I don't know if her name is Joy. I think they did say that because I'm trying to remember where it was at because I've been watching so many videos on it. But one of the things I was going to say is that when you come in that type of environment, how dare we expect to be treated a certain way? The stylist, the owner, was standing in front of the girl that I saw and was like, "Oh, boo boo, hey, little girl, who you talking to?" Like she was in her face. Now, Don, we 305. You don't even walk in. It's a certain space we just don't interfere with. We don't walk in people's space like that because that's like a threat or whatnot. Hey Zay, hello, Pickle Man. I'm just kidding. Love the jean jacket. Thank you, Zay. Appreciate it. So, Don, but you hit the nail on the head with that, with the whole thing of it's a melting pot of ignorance. Because on our side, you got people online. Now you want to come on and complain about the treatment that you're getting from a salon that is, like you said, and it is true. Unfortunately, it is true that we have a lot of foreigners that come over, and when they look at the Black Americans, that's what they see. However, they always, it's something that I believe, and I have friends that are foreigners or whatnot. Remember, the only reason that you came here, the Black Americans have laid the way. You understand what I'm saying? When you come to the US and we've been here, even though you may see us as lazy, there are opportunities that you have now because of those same Black Americans that you may see as lazy. So I hate the fact that that's what it is. And it's like a split thing. It's like some people are like, well, they try to split us up. You know what I mean? And I'm like, I get what they're saying. I'm sorry, y'all want to keep putting on and off my Don, you want to read that? That's Keisha, honey. Oh, she talking to you too, Don.
Was something eye opening. I was talking about how we go to the African salons in support of, to support them. And the reality is they really don't like us as you have as Americans. You have Africans that don't like Black Americans, although we're trying to support them. So when we go in and we ask for these services and we have all these multitude of people working on us, what you're asking for is it's like a melting pot of ignorance because you know you want this hairstyle that one person, a singular person, cannot do. It's going to take them at least 24 hours, so they have to commission someone some help, right, to get you out of the salon, because nobody wants one person want to be sitting for 24 hours. You don't work for 24 hours without a break. You do an 8-hour day. From a 9 to 5, you have an 8-hour actual work day. So it's impossible for you to go in and ask. You're not even thinking of what you're asking this person to do, right? That's why I say it's complete ignorance on top of a culture that really don't care for you because they think
Right.
you are ignorant. Why? Because you're asking
Exactly.
for such a ludicrous uh, uh, service. You know what I'm saying? And then you're going to get mad because you have all these people, working on your head. Ma'am, you asked for some braids all the way down to your goddamn ankle. You know, like how long do you think that's going to take for one person to do? And then, somebody else is going to come out from the back. They haven't washed their hands. The hair is dragging on the ground. It's just ridiculous. So it's like, of course, you're going to have chaos in because it's a melting pot of just ignorance. Uh-huh. Hmm. Hmm.
Oh, who is this? The warrior. Bye, warrior. Child, I got my glasses on. Don't come on here playing games. I will bleach you. Thank you. Okay, Keisha. Yeah, I saw people protesting braiding shops. Wow. How old are y'all? Um, wow. Stephen, no, for real. We Africans feel that African Americans despise us for some reason and don't want to be associated with us. So they treat us with attitude that makes us reciprocate with the attitude. What do you think of UK? Okay, so Stephen, I'm gonna say this. Now we're talking about the beauty world. Now I brought up something where I was talking about a personal thing because I saw it firsthand with my mom, and we experienced that with the families. But when it comes to the business world, when we talk about the beauty world, I have been in salons where African Americans have been mistreated. And I understand what you're saying. I don't know if you're talking about in the beauty world, but we're talking about in the beauty world. The thing that people don't want to talk about when it comes to Black women, I'm talking about Black American women or Black women, period. The industry is $1 billion industry. Okay. It's $1 billion industry. And we are the greatest supporters across the board. We are the supporters when it comes to the wigs, the weaves, and everything else. We are supporters when it comes to the salons, the businesses, or whatever. We are the supporters in everything. But what one of the things that I see is that they get mistreated the worst. When I go to Don, I'm gonna let you talk. I just want to make this point. When I go to a Bronner Brothers show, I don't want to say Bronner Brothers, a hair show. Let me just say that, not even just Bronner Brothers, because I haven't been there in a minute. I don't know if it changed. But when I used to go to hair shows, I remember coming in and seeing all the lights, glitz, and glam, and it was not our people. I always had to walk. I always had to look in my book and find out where we at, and we were all the way in the back, in the corner. All right, and some of those hair shows were came across as Black hair shows, but we were not. We didn't own any. We didn't own it. It was only a few businesses that owned in the hair in the beauty industry that I remember was like, what's the one that you deal with, Don? What's the one you deal with? Design Essentials, a firm. They represented, but we were always in the back. So it used to drive me nuts to see that. But we are the greatest supporters. Now, Don, you can go ahead and comment. Whatever, anything you want to comment on. Hmm.
I want to talk about this lace front, this glue, the adhesive, or that we're using on to hold down your lace install. It's damaging your skin. The skin is left inflamed. You know, girls are snatching off wigs in fights. You know, and I just want to know: has anyone actually done the research on the adhesive that you're using to hold down your lace front? Because we all know that relaxers are not supposed to touch the scalp, right? But we still
Right,
apply it with our hands. And it's never supposed to come in contact with the skin, but it still does. Um, we're always exaggerating the service or the beauty service. Like, for example, the eyelashes, right? Why are they so long? You know, when you're applying a false lash, it should not extend past the client's forehead. Like, beyond that, you're headed to a stage or drag theme. That's what we call it in the industry.
right,
That's telling the world, to me, it's like a cry for help, like, attention. Yes, something's wrong. Mhm.
right.
It should not exceed the forehead. You know, it's like we go in and it's like you're headed to a costume party, you know, like the Atlanta House. I mean, the reunion. I don't know if you watch that show, but the costume that Phaedra had on, it was actually that, a costume. It wasn't. It was a theme, right? She had like the really big, bold brass earrings. It was like a helmet that she had on with the, and it attached what were some dangling earrings. But Portia and the other young lady, Shamia, their style was more in tune with the theme. It's like the stylist supported the whole, they got it, in other words. So I just want to know why we go to the extreme when it comes to beauty. If somebody could just answer that for me, like, if it's the more extreme it is, it seems to be the better it looks in terms of the culture.
Wait a minute. Who
In
is this?
terms
Who
of the
is it?
culture.
Who is this lady talking about? It's nice to see you doing better and off the drugs. Who is Carrie? Listen, I'm gonna tell y'all real quick. Y'all, you coming on the right page with the foolishness. Nobody on here has been on drugs. You need to find another channel to go on. We're talking about your beauty is destroying your beauty has become a trend. If you come on here with the foolishness, I'm going to delete you. Okay? You come on, it always nuts coming on here. Child, please. All right. Um, okay. What you say,
You
block?
said block Karen. I
Karen
saw
has
that.
been blocked. I'm like, wait, who is she talking about? Talking about nice you off drugs. I'm like, who is she talking about? Girl,
Well, yeah, I really want to. I don't understand that with us. We won't take the necessary steps to heal our bodies, or take the right steps. Period. You know. Yes, it's going to take a little work to find a stylist that actually cares about your hair. You're going to have to do a little research. Mhm.
that I thought the post that you posted was about this. The lady had on a lace front wig. The wig was tilted so far over, it covered her forehead and it was touching the eyebrows. And I was like, and she was like, and I said, Lord, help us. Because this is a part of destroying your beauty. And I think what they think is, okay, if I put it more forward, then I don't have to worry about my edges. But even the thing is that the purpose of this video, the reason why went live, and I loved it because Don, the reason why I asked Don if we could do a video, a live on this was because Don had posted this, destroying your beauty has become a trend, but she said it was worded differently. And and I love the fact that she said that because I'm talking to my sisters, I'm talking to us, right? We are in a community where we are the most admired. We come in all shades, all sizes. We are the most admired. But at the same time, we are the most destroyed mentally because we can't see it. Others can see it, but we can't see it. And we go out and we do everything. Everything. We look alike. I'm like, why would you want to look like that? And you are beautiful the way you are. And so back in the 90s, women wore the natural hair more and it was beautiful. You know what, Ready for Raw? I was talking about because Cardi B came out, she had all this hair and she was showing
That's true, Keisha. Yeah.
2015, between 2012 on up, we just went crazy with it. And so we're doing whatever we can. I brought up the fact of the guy that opened up a beauty supply store and they got into a brawl fighting over wigs and weaves. Y'all fighting over wigs and weaves because you don't value you don't value your own natural beauty. I was like, now if they could take that same energy and say, let me, well, they didn't have it. You know what? Let me do my own hair. If they take that same energy, that would be great, but that's not what we're doing. We have to love ourselves. Some men break women hair. Some men break women hair and lips. I'm not really sure what that means, Linda, when you say some men break women. Because we got, I mean, I used to be, you remember in school you it was something to have big lips, and now, honey, it is the thing. Like I wish I had thick lips. You know what I'm saying? We are destroying ourselves. We're trying to alter the beauty that God has given us to look like something that we think is the trend. Everybody's doing it, so I got to look like this. Instead of saying to yourself, "Look at me." You know what I mean? Instead of saying to yourself, man, what I don't have. If you don't have the big butt and I had a friend tell me, I didn't know this. Women are taking their ribs out. Don, you heard that? They're taking their rib out to make their waistline smaller. No.
Look and placed in front of us for all these years. You know, you've been taught to that I'm not worthy, right? You've been treated like that, and you've accepted that type of treatment for so long. You find it hard to find your value, like what Keisha was saying. You know, we're the most
Hmm.
admired, but we don't see our own value.
Right.
When the man says, I want to see her natural hair, what he means by that is he wants to see you in your natural state. I want to see you in your natural state. Your natural state is so powerful.
Right.
It is so powerful. You are in your own. You own it. However your hair is, however your skin is, however your body shape is, you own it. So when he says he wants to see you in your natural state, that's what he means. It's nice to wear a wig or put hair extensions in for a change. We all do it,
Hmm.
right? But
Right.
I don't want to wear hair extensions to the point where it's going to damage my own hair, right? So even with my locks, if they're becoming too long, I have to cut them off. I have to cut them off and then I add them back, right? If I have an event or a show, I'll add my locks back. But in order for my hair to become stronger, I have to cut my locks. So I cut them and I just put them to the side. I shampoo them, whatever, dry them out. I shampoo them while they're on my head, same way. But when it's time, I add them back. So you don't want to long term wear your extensions long term, because long term of anything is going to cause alopecia, right? At some time, you want to give your body a break. The summer to me is like a reset for you. That's the time where if you wear wigs, because you're a teacher, maybe, in education, and you're off for the summer. So, your appearance, we all, when you face the public, okay, I don't have to go to work every day. And, kids can be hard in school. So of course we want to keep our appearance up when we're when we're an educator and we have to deal with kids, right? So nobody wants to walk around with a bald head or stuff like that. So yes, we get it. But the summer is a great time for you to allow your body to heal. Get you some vitamin D. You can put on a scarf. Not the bonnets per se, but a scarf. Get you some sun early morning. Get you in some exercise. Really work on your nutrition. Working on maintaining the temple. Restoring the temple. We're so busy chasing material things till we forget about the basics, which is our health, right? You see the girl in the fancy car, top of the line luxury vehicle, but she riding around with some bald tires. And it's like, okay, yeah, fancy car, riding around in Mercedes, but the tires are bald. Like, it's just like the hair underneath the wig in the unit, bald, because you're investing in the topical layers and not the inner layers in terms of diet, exercise, actually giving your hair a break, wearing your own natural hair. What's wrong with wearing your own natural hair?
Is nothing wrong. We're not saying, oh, don't wear wigs and weaves. What we're saying is that it has, and Dawn made a great point when she talked about her dreads. She wears dread. I'm going to read your comments in a second, but Dawn said, when my dreads get too long, I cut them. And when I have an event, I put them on. And I was making a reference before in a couple of videos before where I said to you guys, people don't wear lace fronts as a need, a necessity, but the black women do. But people that in the movie world, they wear lace fronts, like John Travolta. Different people, they wear lace fronts, right? Or they may, or you may see a Caucasian woman, they wear hair extensions, and because they may have fine hair, very thin hair, whatever. But they don't wear it. They don't wear it out of, oh my gosh, I have to. We do that, and that is the problem. It's too much of, you're wearing it as if you have to wear it. You're wearing your costume every day. I don't know if that makes sense. You're wearing a costume like every day, like it's a need. And then you take down your hair and you're having all type of hair issues. This is what we mean when we say it's a trend. The trend is, girl, if that wig not down my back, I can't go nowhere. It was a guy that made a comment. He called a girl in the morning to talk to her. He FaceTimed her. He said the girl would not put the camera on herself because she was like, I don't have on no makeup and I don't have my wig on. And he was like, so what? But we have come into a place where we don't even recognize our natural beauty because we have been doing the false stuff for so long, adding the enhancements on our head and our face, our makeup and all these things, that we are scared now to even look like ourselves. That is the trend. So let me read real quick. Nobody themselves. Patricia said, "Hi sis, I'm 73 and wear no makeup." The Almighty made you. A lot of women are looking like. Keisha said, I still don't understand the long eyelashes that are super dramatic. I just think that can't be healthy for your eyes. Yeah, Dawn talks about that. Health is true wealth. And Dawn, girl, you better preach. Notification. What is saying? Wait a minute. I may have to log off and come back on. I hope that through this video and weekly live streams, we can be properly educated about the wigs. Go ahead, Coach Lee. Oh, thank you. Okay. I don't know. I don't know if it's going to sign us off, but if it does, I'll come back on. But yes, that's very, very true. So that is what we're talking about, guys. And I love the way, like I said, Dawn is speaking about it. It's in so many ways. Like when she brought out the point of, where is the adhesive that y'all putting on y'all scalp that y'all saying, oh my gosh, it's thick. Look, it's tacky, tacky. And you lay that lace front. Where's the adhesive come from? What chemicals are they putting to create that adhesive? What do you have a solvent? The solvent is not the alcohol. That's not a solvent that you want to use, right? Yeah. So, you know what I'm saying? So those are the things that we're doing, and we're doing at extreme. We can read it, even like relaxers. We'll read about relaxers, we'll read about those things, and we'll continue to do it. Because it's Friday night, or we got that event and I'm about to slay. It's a kid that's on TikTok, and he says, he goes around with a microphone and he introduces. Don, you want to read that?
I've never heard that we are the only group of women who haven't taken off the costume.
Oh, we wear the costumes. That's it. But I'm telling you, if you look at the other, and now I'm not saying that it's not like there are women that wear it because they have some type of medical issue. I just watched a celebrity. She will eventually. I watched the movie and I saw her part was so wide. I said, "Oh, she's losing her hair. She's in the stage of menopause, so it could be that and other things going on with her." But I already see it. I said she's gonna be wearing wigs soon. So it is. There are women and of other race that wear hair extensions because they have to, whether they have what is that, PCOS or something like that. They have different issues going on, medical. So they do. But for the majority, when it comes to our people, I'm sorry, we have abused it, and now we make it a trend. Now, when you see a woman that's wearing her natural hair, y'all want to know where her weave at. You understand what I'm saying? Now she's not wearing too much makeup or she's not wearing any makeup. That's like, oh my gosh. Where like the guy said in the 90s, that we had some of the most beautiful women and they didn't have all that on. Diana Carroll, Diane Carroll. You know what I'm saying? Cal, what's her name? What's her name? Suge from Color Purple. These women are in their 70s. They are beautiful. They don't look like well, they're not walking around with tons of lashes on. They're not walking around like that. Right. And then when somebody tell you, hey, your lashes are thinning, they don't double up on their lashes. They say, oh my gosh, well, what can I do to restore them? That's what they was doing. So now we're in 2025, they have their lashes on. And it is our job as educators having salon talk is that we can talk about things that you might be facing and you don't have to get on here and you don't have to make a comment. But what you can do is make a change. And that's the most important thing for you to understand. Make the change and do better when it comes to your hair. If you see that you are experiencing hair loss, don't continue to do the same thing that's taking out your hair. Don't do it. Don, you got anything to add to that?
Protect the temple. You're worth investing in. You're worth preserving. Um, you're royal. You're part of a royal family, a royal kingdom. You know, you should always operate in a level of excellence and preservation, you know, of the body. You only
Right.
get one. You only get one. It's not like you're gonna get another body. So
Exactly. It's this kid that's on TikTok that he walks around. I don't know if I talked about this, but he walks around on TikTok and he asks women. He walks up to him and honey, he asked the black women and they be really young girls. He said, "Are you trying to look white?" Oh my God. They be like, "What you mean? I'm trying." Or he'll ask the question, "Can a white? Would you be offended if a white person put braids in their hair?" I'm like, he's really bold, but I'm like, he's making a clear point what he's saying, and so we know that everybody, you're not dyeing your hair blonde, you're not doing these things because you're trying to be that. But a lot of us are. We can play like that's not what we want. When we know that we have cotton hair or we have a different texture of hair and we never wear that hair and we're constantly wearing something else, then something's going on. You don't like your hair. So he's not far from the question that he's asking. And it is hard, and I know we're gonna get some backlash, and people don't like it, but that's what it is. Don, what happens when someone does a double lash? Like Keisha was saying, like some of them are so dramatic. I'm I always say when I did a photo shoot, I had to do the lashes. Remember, I told you I say, Don, when you put my lashes on, I need them light because I can't hold my eyes open. They so heavy, and they was normal lashes. But I look at one, I'm like, you can't even see you can't even see their pupil. You can't see anything. I'm like, why are they doing that? We've been conditioned over time, and we have relearned or unlearned this unhealthy relationship with we have with our hair. I agree 100%. But Don, what happens with the lash thing when they do that? Mm, right,
Hair, nails, and skin. So when you go in and you go to beautify such things as get your hair done, have your nails done, go get a massage. When you go in for such beauty services, are you going in with the mindset of preservation or destruction? Because if you love yourself, you're going to go in and you're going to operate in a sense of preservation. You're going to go in, I want to preserve and enhance my beauty. But when you don't love yourself, you don't give a fuck. So you just going in and you're saying you don't care what the technician is like, dirty, unsanitized, late, unprofessional, you know. So you don't care, so you go in and you get that back in return, right? So if you want to produce a great harvest, you have to pour into yourself. You have to pour into the temple and go with preservation and enhancement, as opposed to selecting services that destroy the body. Why put on a double lash? You already don't have a lash there, right? That's why you're putting on a double lash to sustain the heavier lash. So you're putting added stress on the lash. So you can't expect to have any lash left, right? Because you're destroying it. You're destroying your lash. Just like when you go in and put paper around your scalp for the quick weave. We all know that paper stops growth. Paper is what, or cardboard is what you put down when you're gardening to stop the weeds and things from sprouting up. So you're doing the same thing when you take that paper and put it on the client's head to talk about I'm protecting her hair from the glue. No, you're not. You're not. You're adding more stress from this improper application. You're doing more damage to the hair than good. Well, she doesn't have any hair there anyway. So use a stocking cap. If she doesn't
right.
have any hair there anyway, use a stocking cap. A breathable
But
base where she has a chance for her hair to grow,
wait a
right?
minute. If she doesn't have a hair there anyway, have you done the proper consultation or probing to find out what's going on with it? Have you know what I mean? So even in that, if that did you find out if that person did you recommend to that person to see a trichologist or a dermatologist? And Don, you could read Keisha writing as well as you go along. But I just wanted to add that in there, like, mhm,
The cardboard down to smother the weeds from coming through when you're planting. So it's the same thing. So you have to be mindful of the process when you decide on this particular style. When it comes to your nail bed is not strong enough for the tip and a thick acrylic, right? So you have to be mindful. What is the best method when it comes to um wearing nails or having my nails done? Some people say, well, I just want a simple manicure. But okay, you go in, pay for a manicure, but you don't want your nails to chip. So now, within a week, right? Because the old school, your nails chip within 1 week. They say you
right.
have a great polish and this and that and other. But if you clean or live, your nails are gonna chip. So they come up with now is the gel nail polish, right? So it lasts a little longer. You have a better finish, but you're exposing yourself to the UV lights. So if you're suffering from whatever illnesses that we have, you have to be mindful of the exposure from the UV light.
Man, but the thing is that you just want to do things in moderation, right? Keisha, that gel nail polish, yeah, Keisha, you taught us something on that. On that, is hard to remove from your natural nails. Teresa, long nails are great for a back scratch. Yeah, they are long. They great for that, but um, you know, the thing is like she was saying and we were talking about earlier, when it comes to going back to the lace fronts and the weaves or whatever, if you see that your hair is balding and you're sitting in a hairstylist chair and they are not recommending you to go see what's going on with that, and they're constantly doing your quick weaves and your hair is getting more bald, then that's on you at this point. You can't blame the hairstylist when you seeing it at home, right? And if you say, you know what, it's bald. I know a lot of you do this because I have heard it over and over again. You'll sit in the mirror and you look at it and you panic and you become overwhelmed and you just like, I messed my hair up, and then you just give up on it, and then you just keep going back and just say, I got to live with that. And you don't have to live with that. You can go and find hold on, y'all. We gotta. I don't know what's wrong with these people, but we didn't even give you a chance to spell it out, bro. So you can't just ignore it. And you can't put the responsibility when you see that your hair is thinning, put the responsibility on a hairstylist when you see it yourself behind closed doors. That is when you need to go and get the proper care. But the minute that you give up on yourself and your hair and say it's gone, it's bald, and you don't go and do the proper steps, and instead you decide, hey, I'm going to go on Google and look at these pictures and say, yeah, that's what I got, and you diagnose it yourself, that's the problem. Because sometimes it could be a medical issue that's going on, something simple that you can solve, or it can be the product that you're using that's causing you to lose your hair. But if you continue to down the same path, then what's going on? If you're getting braids in your hair every summer, you're getting braids in your hair, but every summer your scalp break out, that means you're allergic to it, but you keep getting it done as if you know what I'm saying? As if it's all good, but you know that you keep getting it done over and over again to the point where now it's permanent. So we want you to get you in the mindset of saying, oh man, my hair's starting to thin. Let me see what's going on, because your body is always telling you something is going on. Your body tells you, especially as women. We got all kinds of stuff. We have babies. Women deal with fibroids. We deal with menopause. We deal with a whole lot of things. Um, who is this? Zatron? Who is this? Did I delete them already? Oh, I didn't delete you. Oh, Zay, I got you now. No problem, baby. Have a good day. So, I'm just saying, like, those are the things. So when you because I've seen the lady I was talking about a couple of weeks ago about how she was saying how, oh, my my hair was bald, hair was 80% bald, and she kept going back. At some point you got to hold yourself responsible. Hold on. Creature say, Don, you want to read that? Yeah. going in there and they're complaining about now y'all want to boycott. I'm like, to me, honestly, y'all, I'm just speaking my mind. I agree that you should boycott them if you know that you get terrible service and they don't respect you or whatever. I believe that, but I think that you should do it across the board. That's just my personal opinion because I don't know why we just like all of a sudden, oh no, and it's I know it's because of the different cultures or whatnot. I'm just saying if you're gonna do them, which I agree with, do them all because the minute you put them out of business where they stop doing the bad practices on your hair, then guess what happens? You're going to force them to step their game up. That African lady who was disrespectful and nasty and running her business real shisty or whatever towards African American, she came right on there and said, please forgive me. You forced her to humble herself and to get her stuff together. She said, when y'all come in here, y'all not going to deal with that again because you boycott it. So to me, do that on every level. That's all I'm saying. Do it on every level. Go anywhere we want when we want authentic food. So to me, when I go in a nail salon, if you do nails, that's all I want you to do. I don't want you doing my eyebrows. I don't want you, you know what I mean? I don't want you doing those things unless you are licensed in it. So I don't. I thank God I haven't experienced that. But now I've seen some people that have shown the infections that they have had when they went into those places. And a big thing, let me tell y'all something. And I just saw this. This girl put up doing braids for 150, hair included. And I looked, and it was over 1,000 comments asking her where she was located at. I'm gonna tell y'all something that's really big. Nobody is complaining. Y'all complaining about the braids being too tight. Y'all complaining about the scalp. Y'all complaining about the disrespect. Nobody is talking about the filthiness that's in the salon. Nobody is talking about the fact that they are using the same combs and tools on you that they've used on the last person. No one is talking about. I didn't see any barbicide sitting on that client's on that cosmetologist chair. Nobody's talking about that. What's going on? You're still going there and you're still washing your hair before you get there. So it's like the what they call it the pot. What they say, Don? What's the saying they say with that? I'm like, what you complaining for? You going along with it? Um, Keisha says, I mean, customer service is a big part of the salon experience. Why people don't know that? That's true, Keisha. This new era of stylists, no ma'am, and I have to pay you too. Absolutely not. Keisha going in. Yep. And let me tell you something, Keisha. Now we got some new era hairstylists that be on point and they are good in their skill set. I can't say they all are, but what I can say is I've seen even old school women that have done it too. Like so, I don't want to give them a whatchamacallit because that's where I got it from. I would go into salons and these women didn't know that had never put they lay their comb on their towel. They'll lay another comb on the towel. I'm like, well, she not gonna buy the barber side? Oh, I ain't had no money for the barber side. Well, you don't need to be doing hair. You don't need to be doing hair because there's too many diseases out there for you not to be able to afford barbicide. You know what I mean? So these are the things that we have to look at as well. Auntie B Boutray, I don't know what some of some they don't know any better. I self respect. Oh, I say they don't know any better. Keisha, wait, the old school hairdressers do that too? Yeah, it ain't. It's just not. It's not just the new ones. You got some old school ones that They be tight on the money. They try to, you know what I'm saying? They don't want to spend because every week you got to go buy products. I mean, if you want those busy hairstyles every week, they don't look at that. It's a lot of things that go on behind the scenes, but yeah, it's old school hairstylists that do it too. It's old school hairstylists that'll put a permanent color in your hair after they did a relaxer because they need the money. So this channel, Salon Talk, is to educate you guys. So when you're going to somebody, whether you're going into a salon or whether you are going into or whether you are going into, I don't use Xfinity. Why are you even on here commenting? Either you going to a salon or if you're going into someone's home, you should be looking for the same things. Just because they're in their home, they should still be you should be still be able to see the barber side. You should still be able to see those things. And if you don't, that's probably part of the problem why you have that's probably why you have part of the problem why you have scalp issues. That y'all don't look at that. It's not just the product that they're putting in, it could be the tools that they're using that they used on somebody else and now it's in your head. So, when you're complaining about something as clients, these are the things that you need to look for. That's why we created Salon Talk. That's why we have this channel, Ask a Licensed Cosmetologist. And it's not to, to blow smoke and to tear people down, but you got to be tired of this. Our industry is the ones that they don't respect. That's why people say I could do it at home. They don't have the respect for hairstylists because of the bad practices. Don, you got any last words to say? Because we at the end. Now, what she said? Oh, I got something for that. You be giving me the topic. So we do have you ladies' expertise and knowledge is good for the culture. Oh, I love that. Thank you. That's what we're pushing for. Yeah. So where Don channel was, we put it over to Salon Talk. We started uploading some videos there. So we'll soon be able to go live on Salon Talk. So we need you guys to go to Salon Talk and subscribe on that channel. So we can start going live on that channel and I can have my channel for my customers. Braiders need legit braiders license. Right. I think do all states need braiders license, Don?
So no, and it's like it's just opened up a whole nother can of unprofessionalism and tearing people hair out. I mean, that's probably why you have the braiding salon, the African braiding salons that open up because there's no longer a requirement in Florida for you to have a license. So anybody can really open up a braiding shop, but in doing so, you should provide training for your staff on customer service, customer relations, if you really want your business to thrive. So, I mean, I'm all for um, being an entrepreneur, and I would open up a braiding salon too, right? But what would separate you or help your business grow is you provide training for your girls, a sanitation and sterilization. Even though it's not required by the state, you should at least offer it to your staff and go through that with your staff to keep the public safe, because we know that there's all type of transferable diseases through braiding hair. The scalp is too hot, they're still boiling water and putting it on the braids. Why are you um uh boiling water and pouring it on the client's scalp? Like, why would you do that? To say, it's just insane, is what it is. And it's like no guidelines, no regulations. It's like okay, corral, you know. shoot them up, boom, boom. Anything goes that's gonna make the dollar, and there's no one else going into the salon or braiding salon but African Americans. You know,
And it was a girl on TikTok, Don, that said, "Oh, you can get your." You remember I was telling you about it. You can go 16 hours. You can get your braider's license. And I wrote on there. I said, "Get your cosmetology license, where you can get the education that you need and get your continuing education." Because this here is fine. It's fine to get a specialty license, but what is happening is we're dealing with too many people that are losing their hair. So you telling them about this part, but they don't know how to take care of the person's hair. So it's a vicious cycle going on where now you got clients that if they care enough about themselves and they trying to make a change, they're going to come to you and they're looking for you to restore it. But then we got the other half of the beauty world, the cosmetologists or hairstylists, whatever they want to call it, that's destroying it, and they don't care. They don't care, and this is a issue. And I'm so grateful, y'all, that Dawn decided to be the co-host on this show and to bring her expertise of the many years that she has been in the industry that she can pour into you guys, because it's about you. It is about us helping our community of women to love themselves and to understand that even the issues you may have, it can be fixed. And you are beautiful. You are natural. People are filling their lips up. People are doing things that the very things that they picked at you about, they're doing the things to look like you, but you don't want to look like yourself. And that is our job, whether it's 5 people or 1 person that get this message. I pray that you guys see it from us, being authentic and pouring into you education so you can change what's going on with you. You know what I mean? Because it's a $1 billion industry, and the Black woman is the main supporter, but you're the one that's at the bottom and you're the one that's losing. Whether you're the cosmetologist or hairstylist, you're losing. And if you're the client, we all losing. All right. I'm going to read this and then we can go. Oh, that's part of the problem. If you are in someone's head, you need a license, period. That's just my opinion. Agreed. Auntie, Louisiana does, because I wrote the law and curriculum. All right, Auntie. I like that. Um, I went to an African braid shop one time. I hate that I had a bunch of people in my head. Oh, I couldn't even imagine that at once. And they braided it too tight, and I had to regrow my edges. I was really young and I never did it again. All right, Keisha. I love that. And I love when y'all post these stories because it's helping other women. I went to one and will never go back. That's Kai or Kia. Auntie says shampooing scalp at disorder, thermal, etc. included. Amen. Honey, shampooing, honey. And listen, some of them natural hair people, the natural hairstylists or people that just tell you to come with your hair already braided, they can wash your hair. They just don't want to. And they're gonna charge, they just still gonna charge you. I don't know why people they got y'all bamboozled thinking that, oh, if I wash my hair here, then that cut off that price for that. That should be included, and they should wash it. They don't want to wash your hair. They just want you to sit in their chair and they just start braiding you. They don't want to hear about your hair loss. They don't want to hear about your medical condition. They don't care. They just want you in the chair, give me my money, and get out of the way. And unfortunately, y'all don't care either because you keep going back to them. Okay, y'all preach tonight. You were all, we appreciate that, Keisha. Guys, we want to thank all of you that came in and tuned in. Please like and share. And remember, go to Salon Talk, Salon Talk, and when you go there, you'll be able. I'll add the link there as well. Please subscribe so we can go live on that channel. Okay. And Don, anything else before we close out? We love you guys. We'll see you next Sunday, 7 p.m. sharp. Bye.